Hi there. It's me, Martin, again. I hope all you folks out there in internet land are doing well. It's been a couple days since I've been on a video. Thought I'd hop on here and just say hey to everybody. I've been doing a lot of reading lately and reading some strange books. Very interesting. Um, the first one is by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. And the second one is by Wallace D. Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich. And I'll put the names and titles and the authors and everything down in the box below. But you would think that reading these books, it's all about getting rich. And I mean, well, that's what the title says. And I guess you could use it that way. But really strikes me that these books are one of those situations where you shouldn't judge a book by its title, because it's just kind of strange. I'm reading through these things, and both of these authors are very clear in what they say you need to do. They're very specific. They use very specific language. They don't leave things open to interpretation in a lot of ways. And then in a lot of ways they do. And I thought it was strange that writers that would use very specific language in their work would leave their title so open to interpretation. I mean, what the heck is rich? How do you know when you're there? It's a whole lot of maybe this and what is that, and different things for different people. And then it kind of struck me that I think they did that on purpose. I think they kind of left whatever rich is up to you. You decide what it is that is rich, and they can tell you pretty much how to go get what you want. A lot of people like to talk about how to get what you want, and it's not that difficult, really. And then at the same time, it can be one of the most difficult things you'll ever try. I guess maybe I should say simple, because I think there's a difference between simple and easy. Simple things can sometimes be difficult to do, and sometimes very difficult things, sometimes very complex things can be pretty easy to do. If you stop and think about it, walking is a pretty simple thing, but it took us quite some time when we were very young children to learn how to do that. Speaking, it's pretty simple, but learning to speak a new language can be very difficult for some people. So I think you have to not confuse simple and easy, because easy things can sometimes be very complex, and simple things can sometimes be very difficult to put together. Ironically, at least to me, it seems that we don't have to, we decide what is going to be easy and what is going to be difficult for us. We reinforce in ourselves, in our thoughts and our speech, things that may or may not be true, and that's kind of the point both of these authors are getting to. And it has to do with what you think. Ultimately, you do what you think you're going to do. Before you take any action at all, you have to think about it first. One of my favorite statements, the mind leads, the body follows. You can't do anything you haven't thought about first. Doesn't work that way. Even things that we call reactions, most of those are learned response. We did it. We learned it when we were quite young, and it just continued using that same response because, hey, it's worked before. The problem is, what if your learned responses don't work? What do you do if everything that you have learned so far is not getting what you want. At what point do you change? Like Einstein said, the idea of uh, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results is just the definition of insanity. And if that's the case, then the opposite is true. Insanity is expecting the same result when you do the same action. And if that's the case, then the reverse is also true, is expecting a different result when you take a different action. And if that is true, then logically speaking, if you want a different result, then you have to do a different action. You can't expect to get something different when you keep doing the same old thing. You are, right now, wherever you are, whatever situation your life is in, you are the result of your own best thinking. Your thinking has influenced your actions, and your actions have influenced your life. And you are where you are, to a great part, because of those actions. And if you're unhappy or dissatisfied with where you are, where should you go to change that? Well, obviously the logical answer is you go to change your actions. But how do you do that? 80% of our actions are pretty much subconsciously driven, or we're just reacting. We're kind of on autopilot most of the day. And if you know what I mean, this happened to me a lot of times driving to and from work. Half the drive you don't really recall. And strangely enough, you decide, gee, I need to do something different. I need to stop at the store. I need to stop at this place. And if you don't really pay attention, you'll drive right past the exit, because you just are so programmed to drive the same route over and over again that that's what you do. So if you're interested in changing anything about your life, not just financial, but just about anything that you want, you need to learn how to change your actions. And the way you learn how to change your actions is you have to change the way you think, because it's a direct chain reaction. You think in a certain way, then you act in that certain way, and then you get the results of those actions. You can't just go back and say, gee, I'm going to change my actions, without changing your thought pattern, without changing the way you think, because your actions are a direct result of the way you think, especially since so much of our actions are unconsciously driven. We don't specifically think of everything we do. And if you ever want to try something interesting, just get out and walk down the street and think about every step you take, every motion you make walking down the street. Pat your head and rub your stomach, and think about it all. You'll find out you won't be able to do it very well. As soon as you start trying to think about every little step, every little action, every little thing that you have to do, you can't think about it all. Your brain can't focus on all of those actions that you're taking. It's much more complex than we even think. Something that we consider relatively simple, like standing up and walking, if you had to think about every step of the way, you'd never really be able to get it done. You'd always be stopping and starting and stopping and starting. And learning how to change that subconscious thought process is really what both of those books are about. I strongly recommend, if you ever get a chance to read them. You can find them, good grief, you can find them online. YouTube. You can go to YouTube and find the video of Napoleon Hill talking about his Think and Grow Rich book, and The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. You can find it online, a free PDF. So it's not like it's going to take a lot of money. You don't have to search too hard. A Google search or a YouTube search will find you all of that information. And check it out. Read it for yourself. Tell me whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. But if you read it and you look at it and then you think about it, I think both of those books are so much more than just about making money and becoming wealthy and all of that. As a matter of fact, I think they kind of use those titles to get people to read the book, and then snuck in a whole lot of other stuff in that information. So look them up. You can find them. You can get them for free. It's not going to cost you anything. Read them, and tell me what you think. I know it's taking me quite a while to read and reread Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. It's just one of those books where I read a few paragraphs and then I have to stop and think about what I read, and I'll spend more time stopping and thinking about what I've read than I do actually reading. So it's a small book. Let's see, I got it here somewhere. Yeah, where did you go? Here it is. See, it's always around here somewhere. It's a small book. Think and Grow Rich has less than 300 pages in it. All told, this one has 254 pages. Not a very big book. Science of Getting Rich is pretty much the same way. It's about 200, 300 pages long. They're not very long books, but they just go so far into your mind that I find I'm stopping every paragraph or two to think about what they're saying and then go back and read it again. And it's one of those books where you get done, you just start all over again and find new stuff. So if you ever get a chance or go out and find them, that's Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, right there. See name and everything, Napoleon Hill. And I don't have this book. It's all on a PDF file, but The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. I'll put the names and everything in the description. So check them out. And then come back to here and let me know what you think. Tell me what you think about those books, and give me your ideas, because every time I read something in there, it's like I'm reading something new, and I'm curious what everybody else thinks about it. Well, I think I'm done for now. I've got some stuff to take care of, and hope you all have a great day. And leave a comment down below. Click the like button. Share this with whoever you want. Hope you all have a great day. Talk to you later.